In today's video, we're going to look at the USB mute sync functionality of the Xilica Solaro platform. This functionality allows logical control of blocks within the DSP when the end user mutes their UC platform, such as Microsoft Teams on their laptop, without the need for a dedicated control interface. This functionality is supported on both the USB modular cards inside a QR1 or FR1 DSP and the GeoUSB network endpoint device. Here I have an example project I've created where I'll demonstrate how to set this up. Firstly, I'll go into my DSP and double click on my USB card. And here we can see the HID mute function that will be triggered when the microphone mute is used inside Teams. To use this, we need to open the project controller located on the DSP on the main canvas. For anything in Xilica that you wish to control, you press Control and click on the item to highlight it in orange. We can then drag and drop it into the project controller window. We now see the logic block for the HID mute. The control pin is the action coming into the card, so the user muting in Teams. And the read pin is the output of what we want to happen when the user mutes their microphone. In this example, I have a mute block that I will action. This is located after the AEC reference, so the AEC has a constant feed. I then mute the audio afterwards to prevent it from being heard at the far end. Again, we press Control and click and drag it into our project controller. As both blocks are logic, they have the same shaped pins, so I can simply connect them together. I will now save the project. I'll load it to my DSP. And now I'm live with the system. I'll bring my Teams window into view. And now when I click on mic mute in Teams, we can see the HID mute is enabled and muted, as is the mute block after the AEC reference. When I unmute in Teams, they follow suit. So the HID mute block becomes unmuted, as does the audio block. Now the microphone pickup is heard at the far end. We can now take this a step further. In this design, I am also using a Clear One BMA360D ceiling tile microphone. So I want to be able to give the user some additional visual feedback that the system is muted by changing the LED colour on the BMA, setting it to red when HID mute is enabled and green when it is disabled. Firstly, I will go back to design mode. And in Project Controller, I will add a TCP client connection from the component library on the left. Inside this component, I will specify the IP address and the port number of the BMA360D for the QR1 to open a connection to. Note, however, that it is not currently possible to connect the two pins I am trying to connect, as they have different shapes. This is because one is a logic connector and the other is binary. I need to convert this using a value conversion module from the component library, and in this case we need to go from logic to binary. Now I can make my connections successfully. I then go into the conversion module, and this is where I specify the API commands for the BMA to change the LED colour. The last value being the colour from the Clear One API. 1 denotes red and 4 denotes green. I can now load this back to my device. So as before, when I click mute in Teams, the HID mute is enabled, as is the audio mute. And also the command, now this has been turned on, sends the on command to the BMA360D to turn the LED colour to red. This gives the end user some clear visual feedback their system is muted and they cannot be heard by the far end. When we unmute in Teams, the audio blocks follow suit, and we send the off command to change the colour back to green to indicate that the microphone is now unmuted. Thanks for watching.